Today we're taking a look at labels within Morpheus. Labels are a categorization tool and can help to make large list views within Morpheus easier to manage. Labels are available in Morpheus 5.5.2 and higher and exist solely within a single tenant. If for some reason you're looking at a list view for a supported construct, such as instance types in this case, and you don't see the labels view, they may be turned off from your list view. You can click on this gear button and then enable labels. They are enabled by default, but if for some reason they're turned off, that's how they can be turned back on. Also, these views are customizable per user, so some users may choose to have labels enabled, some may choose to have labels disabled, but under the gear menu is where you can turn them on if they're not currently turned on for your user. Within Morpheus, a number of constructs can be labeled. Those include library constructs such as instance types, which I'm looking at here, but also layouts and node types. Automation constructs including tasks and workflows, virtual images, options, which includes inputs and option types, and potentially more constructs will be able to be labeled in the future. In order to filter a list view by a label, it's pretty simple. One option is to begin to type in a label within this field, and Morpheus will automatically search for any labels within the database that match your search string. In my case, only one met that search string, and I can click on that to see all of my instance types that I've labeled as being compatible with VMware Cloud technology in this case. Another way that I can do that, if I unset that filter, is I can click on this button, and this is going to show me a list of all of the labels that happen to exist on any construct within my database. So I can do the same thing that I did by typing, just by clicking on VMware, and I can see those instance types instantly filtered there. In order to set a label, we can edit the construct. So let's say I were to edit this. I can add a label. Let's say I add a label list as an instance type. I don't know how valuable that particular label would be, but just as a demonstration, I can add that and it's immediately going to appear alongside the other labels that were on this construct as well. And if I click on this drop down, you can see that it's there. We can unset a label just as easily. I can just remove it here. This is just a comma separated list. I can click on that, I can click Save Changes, and that label is going to go away. Another thing to notice is this list includes every label that exists on at least one construct within my appliance. So you can see I don't have anything labeled as Python, for example, but if I click on this, we can see that it is an option there, and that's because I have one of my automation scripts labeled as being a Python script. So you're going to see labels appliance-wide in these lists regardless of which particular list view you happen to be looking at, but that's going to show you all the labels that are available. So it may be easier to click on this drop down and select one for a smaller list of labels like this one. If you have a very large list of labels, it may be useful to type in a search string here and find the label that way. Now, one thing you may have also noticed is the label, the instance type label that I added and then removed. If we click on this drop down, it's still here. And the reason why that is Morpheus has a nightly purge job where it checks for any labels that are no longer applied to any constructs, and it will remove it from these lists. So on the following day, tomorrow, if I came back into this list, I would see that this instance type label is no longer there because the last remaining construct that was labeled as an instance type is no longer labeled as such. So after the nightly purge job, that would no longer exist in this list. So that's a quick look at labels. They are very helpful especially for managing very large list views in Morpheus. If you have lots and lots of custom library items, if you have lots and lots of automation scripts, things like that, often those lists in some appliances can become very large in Morpheus, and labels can help you to make those lists much, much easier to manage and much easier to find the exact item that you're looking for.